Hey, sister friends, it is hot. Oh my goodness, it's so hot. I don't know where you live, but if it's 100 degrees, I'm right there with you, okay? It's just 100, well, it was 100 degrees today. I don't know what it is right now. It's evening now. Look, I can't do nothing about it, okay? Can't get nothing to stay in this kind of heat, okay? Because as soon as you think about going outside, sweating, okay? Sweating. Daniel chapter 7. I don't know if you've read it yet before you came to watch the video, but we switching up the game now, okay? Previously, Daniel chapter 1 through Daniel chapter 6, it has been other people having dreams. The kings are having these dreams, these visions. They're seeing things, and they're having wise men and all such try to interpret the visions, the dreams, and ultimately only Daniel was able to interpret them. But now we're switching it up with Daniel chapter 7. Daniel is now, this is the account of him having had a vision in the night. And it's real crazy. And I don't know about you, but this would be a very terrifying dream to have. It says, earlier during the first year of King Belshazzar's reign in Babylon, Daniel had a dream and saw visions as he lay in his bed. He wrote down the dream, and this is what he saw. And then it accounts everything that Daniel saw. One thing I want to note is that when you are determined not to defile, that's one thing that we've been focusing on in our journey through Daniel, being determined not to defile, being intentional about what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're seeing, watching, reading, listening to. All of those things have an impact on our ability to hear and see things spiritually, okay? For God to reveal things to us. And a lot of times God reveals things in dreams and visions and things like that. So whenever you have dreams that you can't explain and it's just wild and it may not even seem like parts of the dream go together, write it down. Just as Daniel did, write it down and then pray. That's what we're going to do. That is what Daniel teaches us. He always prayed, he went and prayed just as he always did in chapter 6 when adversity rose up, okay? And now he's in this state of uncertainty. He doesn't know what these dreams mean. He didn't necessarily go out and be like, let me post it on Facebook and see if anybody can interpret this dream for me. It says in verse 28, I, Daniel, was terrified by my thoughts, and my face was pale with fear, but I kept these things to myself. I believe he did try to go to someone. He said, I approached one of those standing beside the throne and asked him what it all meant. He explained it to me like this, and then they go through the explanation of the dream. He didn't just go to anybody. He went to someone specifically that he felt led to go to. That's another thing that we have been talking about, is not just going to any and everybody. We're not called to everybody, and everybody ain't called to us. And just because somebody has a specific title doesn't mean that they have what we need. But when we are determined not to defile, when we are steadfast in seeking God, he will, one, reveal things to us, and then he'll show us, he'll lead us to people or lead people to us to help us get an understanding of what it is that he has shown us. But even Daniel, though he was close to the Lord, though he spent time praying all the time without ceasing, though his diet and his countenance and he had wisdom, though he had all of these things, he was one of the people that the king looked up to, in a sense that he knew Daniel was going to be able to take care of whatever he was asked of. Even though he had all of those things going for himself, he still was terrified. He had fear. terrified by my thoughts, and my face was pale with fear, but I kept these things to myself. So Daniel, even though he is someone that we can look up to, that we can draw something from to apply to our life so that we can be better stewards of what God has given us, he too was a human, just like you and me. He still struggled. He still had fear. He still had chaos going on. He still had uncertainty with these different kings and their leadership or inability to lead. He still went through life. Life was still life and back in the day. But one thing that we can do, that Daniel always did, is remain steadfast. Continue to seek the Lord. And when you have these dreams that you don't understand, don't count it as nothing. Because it's not nothing. You need to write it down and pray over it and ask God to reveal to you. God, reveal this to me. Give me understanding of this. Show me whether it was just wow because I watched a movie late at night and then I just had this crazy dream. Or is this something that you're trying to reveal to me that I need to know? Okay? But on Monday, we're going to try. Okay, we're going to pray, and we're going to try to dive into what his actual dream and vision looked like together at 7 p.m. on Facebook in Bonnets and Bible Study. Join me there and have a good weekend. Stay cool. Drink water. Please don't be dehydrated out here because you will be done melted to death. Okay, love y'all.